Hey, what's up guys, it's Alex here from Teach Computing. Today in this tutorial I'll be showing you guys how to make a port scanner in VisualBasic.net. Now before I go into more detail on how to program this and what exactly it does, I just want to say straight off, the WizTech community is not my channel. I'm a member of WizTech community and I'm very glad to be posting my first video here, but it's also very important that you guys subscribe here as well as my own personal channel at www.youtube.com/teachcomputing. Because if you found this tutorial remotely helpful, you want to go and check out my channel where there's a bunch more videos like this, as well as the most up-to-date content. By that I mean that I'll be uploading most of my videos to my own channel, and secondly to this awesome channel WizTech community. Alright, without any further ado, I should probably get in on how to program this. Now while I'm talking, I'm going to try and create a new Windows Forums application, and what this application is going to do is scan for open ports. Now if you don't understand what an open port is used for, it's basically when your connection with the incoming data and the outgoing data. Ports allow, imagine now you had a big wall or a big cardboard wall and you tried to pour water through it. No water would go through, but if you got a nail and put a little hole in there, then water can get in and out, and that's basically how you should think of a port, in my opinion. I just thought of that off the top of my head. Now if anyone can think of a better way to explain it, I'll put it in the description, but I guess that's a pretty good way of explaining it. And the reason why you want to check for open ports or closed ports is because either A, if you're hosting, for example, a server, whether it be a game or for a chat server or whatever, you need people to be able to connect to your computer, so you need to forward a port. So this can be used to check if the port's been forwarded, as well as the fact that you might not want ports open, you don't want people getting into your computer. Now, don't get worried about security with this, because no one can access your computer if they have the open port. The worst that's going to happen is you get DDoSed. That's a completely different section. I don't want to go into that stuff. So anyway, without even more further ado, I'm going to get into this tutorial. So, hold up. Alright, so first off, I'm going to make a public function. I'm going to call this a scan port. In open brackets, I'm going to type byval address as string, byval timeout as integer equals 500, comma, byval port as integer, and byval timeout as integer. Optional byval timeout as integer equals 500, close brackets, as boolean. So now I've created our function. Now we're declaring the address, which for this example will be checking our own connection, which will be the local host, and we will leave this as default. The port will be the port we're scanning, and the timeout will be the time that, I'll explain that after actually, it's easy to show once we've programmed a little more. And we're declaring this as a boolean because it's going to return a true or a false statement. So first off, we're going to declare our client as a new net.sockets.tcp client. We're going to type try, and the IDE will automatically declare or paste, or however you want to say, the catch X and the end tries. And right here we're going to type client.begin connect, and in open brackets we're going to type in open brackets you want to type address, port, and then nothing, a comma, nothing. And here we're going to type a for loop. So we're going to type for I equals 0 to timeout. So remember how we declared timeout as 500 here, so basically the timeout is going to equal to 500, and after 500 you'll see what happens. So while I is 0 to 500, threading.thread.sleep, and in brackets 1, if client.connected equals true. So basically what this is going to do is try and connect through the port, and if it connects, then the client will close and it will return true. It means the port is open if it can connect. Now if it's not returning true, and if it can't connect, then it's not connecting. So under the next here, we're going to type client.close return false, and the same under catch X exception, client.close return false. And now I've finished with our function. Now what we can do is we're going to go back to our forum application, and we're going to type add a list box, and we'll just put this on the right hand side, and we're also going to add a button. Now what I would do is add text boxes for people to choose their custom ports. I'll explain when you can see the code in a minute, but for now this is just a basic application to show you the function. So we could do this for a single port, but having to go through every single port would be an effort. So let's make a range. So we're going to declare port as an integer equals, we'll call it port 0, and we'll declare port 1 as an integer equals 10. So now we want to check if ports between 0 and 10 are open. So to do that, we're going to use a for loop. So we're going to type for I equals port to port 1. Listbox1.items.add, and then open brackets, and in open brackets again scan port, open brackets, and in quotations we type the address. Now the address is going to be 127.0.0.1. This is the local host. If for example you were checking another website or someone else's computer, you would replace this with their IP address, comma, and then we're going to type I and triple close off your brackets. Basically what this is going to do is while the port is between 0 and between 10, listbox1 will add the item and it will scan the port, the address and the port, which you can see here, the usage, and it will return the value. Listbox1 will add the value being true or false. So if we press go now, your forum will not be able to do anything because we haven't used threading. Now I'll make further tutorials on my channel on how to use threading, and I'll explain that again towards the end if I've got time. As you can see, this is very basic, just says false. So 1 is false, or 0 is false, 1, 2, 3. You would add something like port, and then I'll do it actually. Let's add, so listbox1 the items will add, and it will add port, and then and I, and then and connect gap connected equals, and then this is what will be the true or false. So this should now say the port, whatever port it was. Wait for it to load a little second. Yep, port. Oh, what have I done here? So this is why I didn't want to do this, because I wasn't prepared for this, and I usually get crap errors when I least expect it. Oh, that's why I need to put the and there. Sorry, my bad. Let's scan port 0 connected equals false and give it a few seconds, and everything else will load after it. There we go. Port 1 connected equals false, 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 false. Now, obviously, you'd make the rest look nicer and use it how you will, but this works fine. So to show you the usage more accurately, I'm going to scan between the ports 43590 and the port 43595. That's correct, right? 4359. Oh, yep. So if I press debug now and I search for my ports, they're all going to return as false. Oh crap, I should probably widen out this thing. Do that again. They're all false, which means the ports are closed. But if I open up uTorrent, which is, I've set uTorrent to port for the port 43594, and now if I debug the application and click scan, port 43594 should be open. Because if you open up uTorrent here, Control P and view the connection, I'm using the port 43594 for incoming connection, so I know it's open. So for example, now you could scan between port 1 and 1000, but I only recommend you scan between a range of 500, otherwise it's going to be loading for a while. Let me just check the time real quick on this video. I don't like doing this in videos, but yeah, 8 minutes in. See, pretty long tutorial. I will say quickly, you finish the tutorial now, you can leave if you like, but what I'm saying now is you'll notice that you cannot do anything while you are scanning for ports. The forum will be lagged out unless you press minimize the desktop. This is because it's running on a thread. It's not running on a thread, sorry, which is if you don't understand what multi-threading and threading is, basically an application can only do one thing at a time. Now you might be thinking, well, if you press a button and it opens a message box, it does that in a millisecond, so you don't notice it. But for things like this, where it actually has to run a function and connect and check and then add it to the list box, you're going to notice it all frees up, and that includes moving the forum. Now the way to resolve this is to add multi-threading, or the simple fix will be to use the background worker. Now if you want to see a tutorial on the background worker, make sure you go and subscribe at Teach Computing as well as here, and I'll be making a tutorial on using threading, multi-threading and the background worker very soon. Alright, what's up? Remember to subscribe, like, comment on this video. Check out my own channel at youtube.com/tscomputer. Until next time, I'll see you.